What's up, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about my embroidery machine. So I just wanted to answer a few of the questions that I've been getting. You guys might have been seeing me post some videos on my Instagram of embroidery jobs that I'm doing, stuff that I'm doing with the embroidery machine, but you're like, hey, how come you're not making no videos on YouTube about it? And to answer that simply is I don't know everything about that machine. Before I make some sort of video about the machine, I mean, yeah, I did an unboxing to show you guys how I set it up and stuff like that. But in order to provide some sort of informational video about the embroidery machine, I have to run it through my own jobs to see how the machine holds up, to figure out how to help troubleshoot some shit, how to hoop certain things, how I'm using it to make money, thread I'm using, needles I'm using, hoops I'm using, everything that's involved with the machine. I want to be fully educated and fully informed before I can share anything with you guys. I'd be an asshole if I jumped onto YouTube and was like, check it out, man, I just ran a hat, now I'm an expert at this embroidery machine. Fuck no. I need to make sure that I know about this machine before I tell anybody else about this machine, because how am I going to teach you guys how to do something if I don't even know how to do it yet either? You know what I mean? So that's the main reason why I haven't made any videos about the embroidery machine yet. Those videos will come. We've been running this machine every single day since we got the machine in this shop. Business has been booming and it's crazy. The one thing that I've been telling almost everybody that asks about the machine is I'm mad at myself for waiting so long to get one. I've always put it off. For some weird reason, the price tag on any embroidery machine has always turned me away. It's like, oh man, that machine's $15,000, that machine's $25,000. I don't want to spend that on no embroidery machine. I just outsource all my embroidery. Now looking back at it, you can make so much. Like, we've only had this thing in here a few weeks and we've been operational all those weeks. It was like right after we did the training, it was go time. And anybody that came into the shop to pick up an order or whatever it is for a meeting and they see the machine, they're like, oh shit, you guys do embroidery? Can you do this? Can you do this? I'm like, yeah. Now orders are stacked up. Hats, shirts, patches, all the shit. And at that point, we didn't even have supplies in here. We had no stabilizer in here. We had no foam for 3D hats. We only had the needles that came with the machine. We only had the thread that came with the machine. We're like scrambling around trying to go buy all this stuff because we had so much work coming in. And as we're knocking these jobs out, we're like, why the hell did I wait so long to get a machine in-house? And I get, if you're doing bigger runs, when I do my hat runs, we're doing 6 dozen, 10 dozen hats. Are we gonna do that on a single head machine? No, we're still gonna send those out. But there's also embroidery shops around here that don't wanna take on a dozen pieces, that don't wanna take in some of these low quantity orders. Bingo. That's where we're at. We'll knock those out all day long. Single head machine, bang them out. Boom, 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 boom. And that's what we've been doing, and it's crazy. So as you guys know, I do a lot of contract printing in here. Print for other people, stuff like that. And now this is just an addition to those services to make more money. But like I said, I don't know everything about the machine. I know the basics. I know how to run it. I know how to hoop certain things. I know how to thread the needle. Thread breaks. I know how to get the thread back down to the needle. Stuff like that. Adjusting tension and all that. I don't know everything about that. And these are the questions that are gonna come up if I make a video like, hey, how do you adjust tension? And I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know. Just turn some knobs. By the time I make a video about the embroidery machine, I wanna actually be able to help people out. It's like that with everything. Heat presses. It's like that with vinyl cutters. I really put these things through their real world paces. Like, I run actual jobs on all the equipment before I make a video about something. I use transfers for months and test them out before I make a video about them. So you guys know, all right, these hold up in the wash, boom. I could confidently talk about them. Majority of the stuff on my channel is information about shit that I do and use for my own business. This isn't a review channel. This isn't a channel where I'm just talking about products so you could buy them. This channel is providing information about the shit that I do and use for my own business. This is what works for me. Hopefully it'll work for you. That's why you don't see me have a million different presses in here. Like I said, I have affiliate accounts with a lot of other heat press companies, with heat press manufacturers. It'd be easy for me to be like, hey, you should go buy this heat press right here. Hey, you should go buy this heat press, use my link for this. If I don't personally use that heat press for my own business, I would not recommend it to anybody else. Why is that? Because I don't know if it's a good machine or not. Me turning on the machine, pressing one shirt does not tell me nothing. I need to put a real job through it. I need to press 100, 120 t-shirts on there in one sitting to make sure that it'll hold up to the production of what I do here for my own customers. That way I could give you better information about whatever I'm using, because I know it holds up to what I do for my business and it'll hold up for what you use it for. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you don't see like a bunch of different products on my channel. That's why you don't see a lot of other shit, strictly because I only talk about the stuff that I use and do. My marketing strategies. I'd be an asshole if I told you guys, hey man, pay for these Facebook ads. I don't know shit about Facebook ads, like paying for them. I don't know nothing about that. So why would I tell you to do it if I don't do it? You know what I mean? So when it comes to this embroidery machine, I'd be an asshole if I just said, hey, you should buy this machine, and I've never even used it or ran it or actually ran a job through it. Nah, I'm gonna put it through its paces to make sure the shit holds up to what I need it to do. So then I could say, check it out. This is how I run the machine. This is what I use the machine for. This is how I'm getting the business. If you're new to this channel, go back and watch my old videos. You'll see that's how this shit is. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I have another press in my shop, and you'll know that it replaced another press, but I haven't made a video about it because I'm still testing the shit out, making sure the shit can hold up to our workflow before I offer it to somebody else and say, hey, you know what? I stand behind this press right here. Like I said, I have affiliate accounts with a lot of people. I could be hawking presses all left and right from all these different companies, but I don't, because I don't actually use all those presses. You know what I mean? So for everybody asking, hey man, let's see the machine in action. Hey man, let's see, make some YouTube videos about your new embroidery machine, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna make sure I know how to operate this machine before I make videos and tell you guys about the machine. You see what I'm saying? This channel isn't just about selling shit to everybody. You know what I mean? It's just showing you how I run and operate my business. That's all it is. But what I can tell you so far from these few weeks of actually running and operating this thing is I'm dumb as hell, because I should have got one a lot earlier. I should have never put it off. I should have never let the price tag fool me on it's something that I couldn't afford or it's something that I don't want to invest in. Because when it comes to embroidery, you really can't recreate embroidery like you can printing on t-shirts. When you're printing on t-shirts, you can use plastisol transfers, traditional screen print, DTG, DTF, sublimation. You could print transfers out of your desktop printer. You could do all kind of different stuff to create a design on a t-shirt. You can use vinyl, you can use printable vinyl, you can use those printers that it's like the A to B paper, like the white toner stuff and all that other crazy shit. There's a lot of different ways to put your design on a t-shirt, but there's not a lot of different ways to recreate embroidery outside of actually having an embroidery machine. You could get patches made, but those are still embroidered patches, and then you press them on. Not the same exact thing. Embroidery is its own thing, and the only way to accomplish embroidery is by having an embroidery machine. And I'm mad at myself for not getting one earlier. I always put it off. I always use the excuse of, I just outsource it, I'll middleman the job, it's cool. Or if jobs came up and they had really low minimums, I turn them away like, nah, I can't do that. The minimum's gonna be 4 dozen, because that's what my embroidery guy tells me, so that's what I tell other clients. And it's like, damn, I'm leaving so much money on the table here by not offering embroidery. So that's why I'm like, shit, I should have got a machine long time ago, because since we've got it, that thing has not turned off. And it's crazy the amount of possibilities to make money with that thing. It's almost like it sells itself. Let's say that you buy this machine, and let's say that your monthly payment is like $200. And you're like, oh man, $200 a month to pay for this thing. Now, if this was like a DTG printer or some screen print equipment or something like that, and your monthly payment was $200, that could be justified by bringing in more work. But it also can argue that you can use transfers and other stuff to create those same exact t-shirts, to where it really doesn't make sense to have that payment. But like I said, you can't recreate embroidery with anything else outside of an embroidery machine. So your $200 monthly payment might sound crazy, but at the same exact time, it pays for itself. You could sell 10 hats, $200. If you sold the hats at $20-25 a piece, easy call, payments made. But on top of that, if you're doing embroidery for a lot of other people, in one job, that payment's paid already. Trust me, the homie from Heart and Hustle, Rye Beats, are 2 guys that I seen that had embroidery machines in their garage or in their shop, and they told me there's so much work. And now I believe it, because like I said, we've only had this thing for a few weeks, and there's so much work stacked up on here. Like I said, we're running this thing daily, and the consumables are cheap. cheap, man. Thread costs nothing. Stabilizer costs nothing. I think like a 50-yard roll of stabilizer was like 15 bucks or 12 bucks or something like that. Thread for a big ass spool of the shit I think is like $4 or $5. Cheap. Things are fairly cheap. The machine costs, but the actual consumables running through the machine, cheap. It's crazy. Like, we did some swim trunks the other day. We put somebody's logo on some swim trunks. Shit came out crazy. It's wild, man. I always just thought I'm just gonna be doing hats, because mainly that's what I outsource my embroidery to, is just doing hats. And we do hats. We do a bunch of hats. I think on my Instagram story you might have seen that I put a little Spam Musubi on some dad hats. We're doing a lot of hats. We're doing a lot of 6-panel snapbacks. We're doing a lot of 3D puff embroidery. Oh, another thing is I want to talk about digitizing. I don't digitize anything on my own. I haven't figured out the software yet. I haven't learned how to use Chrome. I haven't learned exactly how to digitize something, but we had so much work coming in that we just outsourced the digitizing. So we have a local guy digitizes stuff for us, sends us the file in a day. Boom, we're off and running the following day, stitching away. He sends the worksheet with it. You tell the machine exactly what colors in what order. Boom, hook the shit up, load it up, and it's already good to go. So for the people asking about digitizing, I don't know how to do it. I haven't figured it out. I am gonna try to learn how to use it, but right now outsourcing the digitizing is an easy call for me. So that's my embroidery update. Hopefully it helps somebody out if you were on the fence about getting one. Do not let the price tag fool you, because that thing will be paid in no time, because there's so much work, man. Shout out to Heart and Hustle. Shout out to Ebikes for even telling me when I was even looking for one and I was just asking general embroidery questions, and they both have 2 different machines. But these are guys that make videos. These are guys that I know run their own businesses. These are guys that do somewhat similar stuff as me. And I was just like, yo, asking a bunch of questions. And they were like, man, there's so much work for this embroidery machine. It's crazy. And now I'm like, oh shit, these guys were right. Few weeks in and we got orders stacked up. Pretty crazy. So if you're on the fence, like I said, don't let the price tag fool you. And there's no other way to recreate embroidery. So if you were thinking about getting into it, or you do have an idea of statement of work for the machine, do some research, watch some videos, do a lot of reading. That's what I did. Talk to these different companies and find out what's going to be the best fit for yourself. If you want to do more research on the Ricoma machine that I have, the MT1501, I'll leave the link in the description. But there's no commitment by clicking the link. Like, after you click the link, it's not like you're buying it. Click the link so you can actually get more information. Read up on it. Make sure you're making an educated purchase. You know what I mean? Don't just buy something based off of what I'm talking about. Do research, figure it out, see if you like what they offer. Hit them up with a million questions. Let them answer your questions. You know what I mean? If you own the same machine, let me know in the comments. If you already own an embroidery machine, or if you're thinking about getting one, let me know in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram. That's where you'll see a lot of this machine in action for a lot of different jobs that we're doing right now. And eventually I'm going to be making some YouTube videos about the machine, but that's when I get a little bit more educated about it myself. All right, follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.